What's up, everybody? It is finally the time. Time for some NFL football. Tonight, the Dallas Cowboys travel to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Philadelphia Eagles in a really exciting game one matchup. Obviously, this is the last game where the Eagles and their fans can say that we are defending champs. We are the champions, I should say. We are the champions of the world. Because once that ball is snapped, or once that ball is kicked off, I should say, it's a new season. It's 2025, and that championship is in the rearview mirror, and it's focused on who's going to be the champion this season. Who's gonna be that champion? Is it Dallas? Is it Philly? Is it someone else? We will see. But looking at this matchup between the Cowboys and the Eagles, it's really intriguing. I think that these are two teams. Obviously, the Eagles, my prediction, they're going to be division champions. But I think Dallas, they're a team that even after this whole Micah Parsons situation, could potentially have a winning record. Could they sneak into the playoffs? I think they might. We'll see. I'm going to be making another video on all that. But what I'm talking about in this video is the game one tonight. Who's going to win? Who are some key players? What are some X factors to watch out for? Who's going to cover the spread? A score prediction, the whole 9 yards regarding it. But when looking at this matchup, the one thing that jumps off the page to me is the Philadelphia Eagles secondary and the Dallas Cowboys receiving core. This completely new receiving core in Dallas. And I say new, well, yeah, they only brought in one guy. They brought in George Pickens, but this one guy is going to make CeeDee Lamb a better wide receiver one. This one guy is going to make Jalen Tolbert arguably one of the best wide receiver threes in the National Football League. Jake Ferguson, hopefully he'll be healthy. He only played, I believe, 12 games last season, so he'll be back. Hopefully there's a full load of health for him. It's a new team. It's a new receiving core, and I think it's a receiving core that will do some damage, especially tonight. They'll do damage. The Eagles have Quinyon Mitchell, a player they love, a rookie who really popped. When you look at PFF's list of top 32 corners entering this season, Quinyon Mitchell's right in the middle. He's like number 15, number 16. He's good. And hopefully, for the Eagles' sake, the ceiling just keeps getting higher and higher, right? Because he was a rookie. We saw Sauce Gardner excel, and now he's one of the best corners in the league after having a great rookie campaign. Opposite of him, though, there's a question. Who is it? I don't know. Like they're trying to find this answer. Is it a Dory Jackson? I mean, he's on his, he's on another team, a new stint, Tennessee guy, Giants player. Now he's on Philly. We'll see what's happening. He beat out Keely Ringo, a sixth round pick. He's fine. There's no sure answer at the second corner position. Their safeties, Blankenship, he's good, but I don't think he's great. Their safety group is okay. Cooper DeJean at nickel, he's solid, he's good. We'll see. Like he doesn't jump off the page to me. It's really a Quinyon Mitchell secondary, and then a bunch of other players, in my humble opinion, right now. And you look at the Cowboys and their receiving core, and it jumps, right? I talk about how George Pickens joining this team is going to reinvent the receiving core, and I'm being serious. When you look at Pickens and you look what he provides a receiver who showed signs of life and a lot of talent as a wide receiver one, with his quarterback cycle just being a complete mess, right? It was Justin Fields, it was Russell Wilson, who I like, but he didn't really do too hot as the whole Steelers team did down the stretch. It's been who? Mason Rudolph before that, Kenny Pickett, right? It was just he's been playing with downright terrible quarterbacks, being a number one wide receiver on this terrible roster the Steelers had at the quarterback position for the past 3 years of him being on there, and he had 1,100 yards, 800 yards, 900 yards each year. He was really good. Now he's a wide receiver too with Dak Prescott, aside from next to CeeDee Lamb. That's scary. And an interesting stat to look at with this is with George Pickens is since he's into the league in 2022, he's had the most yards off of go balls since that year, only behind Tyreek Hill. And again, he's playing with nobodies at quarterback this whole time. He thrives at the hitch, right? Which is about a 10-yard curl, essentially. Dak Prescott, since entering the league since 2016, he's thrown that pass more than any other quarterback has. So he brings two elements that Dallas is well, one element Dallas has been looking for, which is a deep threat, but also a a a receiver or a route tree that Prescott just naturally likes to throw to. And he's next to CeeDee Lamb. Well, CD's either he's going to get some coverage taken away from him so they can try and guard George Pickens, or they still run double mans. They throw stunts at CD Lamb, and then you have Pickens running wild against just nobody's guarding him, right? No offense to Dory Jackson, but Dory Jackson is not Quinyon Mitchell, right? Dory Jackson isn't like he's going against Jalen Ramsey. So I like this receiving core, and it's also going to allow Jalen Tolbert to take the top off the defense, be a go guy. So I love it. This is something Dallas has been looking for since 2020, since LeBron James won his last championship. That's the year Michael Gallup popped, allowed him to get that big extension. But since his injury, unfortunately, they've been trying to fix it with guys like Brandon Cooks, Turpin, making Jalen Tolbert a wide receiver too. It just was not working. They have their answer. This is going to be a team that has a healthy Dak Prescott now. They're going to go out and they're going to be really good throughout the season. And tonight, I think they're going to get some points on the board because it's such a good receiving core going against such a questionable secondary in Philadelphia. Now, looking the same side of the ball, but now in the trenches, Tyler Smith is really good at guard. Tyler Booker, you watched the draft. I know you guys all did. He was someone who was intense about just being locked in, want to run people over. I love the guards of Dallas. Cooper Beebe had a really solid rookie campaign. I think can stack on that. Tyler Guyton, a tackle, first round pick last year, is hoping to build off of something. Terrence Steele, they gave him a contract for a reason. You can love or hate Jerry Jones, but the one thing you must admit is the dude knows how to get offensive linemen to be ballers. And this is an offensive line full of first and second round picks who are a bunch of ballers. I'm telling you. So I think it's going to hold up well. But the question is, can they hold up well enough against this scary front seven of Philadelphia that won them the Super Bowl? And can this running game of Javonte Williams, Jaden Ballou, Miles Sanders, can they get anything going to make Philly have to keep six players, hopefully seven players in the box? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think they can. We see Philadelphia with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jahad Campbell, Jeremiah Trotter. Dare I go on? Because I can. Their backups are great. Smell Moden. They have phenomenal players in their front seven that are Zach Bond. All right. I'm sorry. I'll stop now. But point being, they have a lot of players and a lot of just depth and big bodies who can get production going for Philadelphia. So when I look at this team on that side of the ball, both sides or both teams on that side of the ball, it's really a question of can the run game for Dallas get anything going? And can this offensive line, can they control the line of scrimmage? I think early on, I think Dallas will be explosive. I think they'll get some big plays because this secondary of Philly's just not that good, and they're going to put up points. But as the game goes on, I do think there's a pretty good chance that this constant rotation Philly loves with Vic Fangio will eventually get to the quarterback, but especially stop the run. And if they can't get to the QB, the run's going to be so poor that they can just drop players back into coverage. That's how I really see this working out. Um, on the other side of the ball, though, with Philadelphia offensively and Dallas defensively, we keep looking at this whole Micah Parsons trade. What's going to happen? What are the Cowboys going to do? What is Matt Eberflus even thinking right now with his best guy and Micah Parsons no longer on the team? Like, whoa, what is going on in Dallas, right? That's what everyone's thinking. The trade itself, A plus trade from Dallas. If you want to know, we'll talk about it later. But look in the defense right now with Dallas. The way I look at things for the Cowboys is they are returning players on their roster that are additions, right? You look at it, they didn't have Trayvon Diggs really much of last year. He was dealing with injury. Deron Bland, who just came out of nowhere out of Fresno State. He only played like 7 games last year. So their secondary would take a huge jump because they're healthy. They got Trayvon Diggs. They got Deron Bland. I mean, that's two really good players in the secondary. You look at the front seven. They have Kenny Clark. I don't know how good Kenny Clark's going to be day one, but he's going to be important. He'll be all right. They got Kenny Clark. They re-signed some players on the D tackle group. Mozzie Smith, former first rounder, obviously has not lived up to the billing, but he was drafted in the first round for a reason. As a rotation player, not a starter, he'll be better, right? That's the hope, at least. And then you look at the edge group, they have Marshawn Kneeland, who they hope takes a step out of Western Michigan, the former second round pick. They drafted Donovan Ezerique. They have some good player. Kenneth Murray, I really think is a talented guy. I love the addition of Kenneth Murray. I really, really do. They brought back or they acquired Jack Sanborn. They brought him from the Bears along with Eberflus, who he was doing really well in Chicago when Eberflus was the head coach there. And the big question mark, and this is more of a long-term outlook that I just want to get out there, is this linebacking core for Dallas can be really good with Eberflus there because he has a knack for developing linebackers. But looking at this team for Dallas in particular, looking at this game in particular, Philly has the best offensive line in the NFL. I don't think there's any if, ands, or buts about that, right? They have Jordan Mailata, they have Lane Johnson, they got Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickinson. They got this moose out there on the O line, and they're going to overpower Dallas. They really will. And the secondary for Dallas, I trust. I like them. I think AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they can get some magic going, right? But ultimately, it's going to come from the run game. I do think eventually down the season, we're going to see this run game or this run defense take a step up for Dallas. Matter of fact, I think they could even have success early on in the game. Saquon in his entire career against Dallas isn't very good at running the ball. He's averaging 67 yards per game against Dallas off of 13 and a half carries, and he's played Dallas twice a year his entire NFL career. So maybe they have some magic in there in the room of the Dallas Cowboys at the Star. I don't know. I don't know what that is. So maybe they can slow things down. But the offensive line for the Eagles is just so demoralizing. In my opinion, it's going to eventually wear down this defense of Dallas and their front seven. They're not going to have an answer for Saquon. They may stack the box. If they stack the box, then Kaiir Elam, he couldn't find the groove in Buffalo. I don't think he's going to find the groove in Dallas. They're going to exploit that with Devontae. They're going to exploit that with AJ Brown. Who's are they going to get a spy on Jalen Hurts? How's that going to happen? I'm not sure. I think Dallas Goedert's going to be a really good tight end. I think he'll make some plays. Ultimately, in this game, I have the Dallas Cowboys losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, probably about 27 to 21. Dallas will get some good scores going. I think Philly would just have more scoring drives. And I do think Dallas is going to enter halftime with the lead, playing good football. But it's all about the line of scrimmage. And how do you dominate? How do you know you have a good line of scrimmage? How do you know you have a good line, both offensively and defensively? It's how they look in the second half. And the front seven of the Philadelphia Eagles and their depth is going to be killing. I really do think they're going to be destroying the Dallas Cowboys offensive line in that second half, especially off the tackles. Guy and I think has potential to be good, but it's week one, okay, and he's going against Zach Bond and Nolan Smith off the edge, right? Terrence Steele got the contract. He is good, but how good can he do against this Dallas front seven? I don't know. Or excuse me, Dallas, the Eagles front seven. I'm not sure. So eventually that wear and tear, we're going to see that Eagles defense get things going. I think Vic Fangio is going to do well with the front seven and propel the Eagles to a victory that way. And offensively, things are going to be slow. I really do think things will get slow for the Eagles, at least at the start. I know I mentioned that Saquon number, but eventually that offensive line, as we've seen game in and game out for many years, they just pound, pound, pound their opponent. They just get to him. They do. And Saquon is going to pop, right? He's going to pop against this Dallas team. I think he had over 100 yards rushing in one of his two games against Dallas last season. So when you put one of the best running backs in the league behind the best offensive line in the league, good things happen. And that wear and tear is going to eventually catch up to Dallas in the second half. And the Eagles will plow their way into a victory, winning the game 27-21. So that's my prediction. Eagles cover this or Dallas covers the spread. Eagles win 27-21 to start the season off. I think it's going to be early explosives in the game for Dallas with that receiving core, and then a little bit of a slower start for Philly, but eventually they're going to wear down Dallas on both sides of the ball and win the game. So that's my take, and I'm sticking to it, but keep an eye out because this is a game that is going to have two playoff teams, and I really think Dallas has a chance to make the playoffs this season despite all their moves, or despite, I should say, their one move of Micah Parsons leaving the team, being traded to the Green Bay Packers. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate you guys listening. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, comment, please. I appreciate the love. Game Ball is back, and I'm excited for this NFL season.